everybody, how you doing? It's Rocko Denaprovo here for another movie review. Now, as you know from watching my channel, and you better be watching, Rocko Denaprovo only reviews movies from the 1980s, and for two very good reasons. One, the best movies in the world were from the 1980s, right? I mean, that's obvious. And two, Rocko Denaprovo, baby, was in his prime. And just like fine wine, getting better with age. All right. So what are we doing today? Well, before we get into it, let me just say, you're sitting there, you're watching my channel, so hit the subscribe button. How hard is that, right? And the other thing you could do for Rocko, and there's no need to wait to the end of the video, because I know you're gonna like it. So like the video, don't wait to the end. I'll guarantee, you got my word, you're going to like the video, all right? So subscribe, like, do me a favor. Maybe someday you're in Boston and you need Rocko to do you a favor, right? And you could ask anyone in Boston. Rocko Denaprovo knows how to return a favor, all right? All right, so here we go. 1987. The movie's Dirty Dancing, huh? Who doesn't like that name? It's directed by Emil Adolino, right? A member of the Italian Brotherhood, all right? How it doesn't get better than that? An Italian director. So we know this guy knows what he's doing, right? So here's the thing. This movie's set in the summer of 1963 at a fancy schmancy upstate like summer resort known as Kellerman's, all right? It stars Patrick Swayze. He plays a character, Johnny Castle. He's like a rough and tough dance instructor. Just give me a second. I don't know. I have a hard time putting the words rough and tough in front of dance instructor. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but I mean, there's three male professions. A male nurse, a male airline steward, and a male dance instructor. It's hard to take those three professions and put the words rough and tough in front of either one of those three professions, all right? I mean, let's put it this way. If any of those guys from those professions owed Rocko Denaprovo some money, sure, I'd give them a fucking beating, right? Because no one owes Rocko D. No one stiffs Rocko D on money. You know what I'm saying? My point is, I wouldn't enjoy it. Like, in other words, they'd catch the beating, but I wouldn't enjoy it because of that profession, all right? So anyways, it's Hollywood, so we'll let Patrick Swayze be the rough and tough dance instructor, okay? Anyways, and then his love interest in the movie is played by Jennifer Grey. She plays Frances Houseman, better known in the movie as Baby. And she's a 17-year-old high school graduate. She plans on going to college. She's going to join the Peace Corps. And as her dad says, Baby's going to save the world, right? So here's the thing, and this is kind of funny to Rocko, because this movie was made in the 80s, right? I mean, you got Jennifer Grey, who's 17 in the movie. She looks more 15. And you got Patrick Swayze, who looks at least 35. And they're like, I mean, I don't know. It looks like a little, like, pedophiliac stuff going on there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a little weird, I mean, you could get away with that in the 80s. I don't know if that whole theme would fly in 2021. But in the 80s, and that's what was great about the 80s, you could do whatever you want, and you could say whatever you want. You weren't politically incorrect, That's why Rocko D says politically incorrect right here. You know what I'm saying? All right. So anyways, that's the whole thing. And so the story starts off with, Baby and a dingbat sister and her parents. Her father happens to be, a successful doctor, so we know he's got some cash, right? And they're headed up to Kellerman's to spend a few weeks in the summer. All right, so they get up to Kellerman's, and it doesn't take very long, but Baby right away runs into Johnny Castle. And immediately, she's like infatuated, right? She sees Johnny doing his dancing. He's like the head dance instructor there. And she's infatuated. Matter of fact, she's kind of interested in just like the whole culture of like you get the workers and then you get the people that are going there. And she was kind of fascinated, I think, with just the whole all the workers there, She was kind of interested. And one night, she actually wanders up the hill there where all the workers live, and there's a party going on, right? And she walks into this party, and she opens the door, and lo and behold, everybody's dirty dancing, right? Hip grinding, Rocko D knows. He was in the 80s. I lived that life. And she doesn't know what the heck to make of it, right? What's going on up here? They're all dirty dancing. Now, first off, I gotta say, the soundtrack from this movie was awesome. So get a hold of the soundtrack. You'd really enjoy it. It's a great soundtrack. And so she's there and she's watching these people dirty dance. And lo and behold, Johnny Castle shows up with his friend, Penny, played by Cynthia Rhodes. Remember Cynthia Rhodes from the 80s? This is one hot dancing chick. She was in Flashdance, Staying Alive. I mean, so she shows up, and her and Johnny are just friends, but they're dance partners, and they're like going at it on the dance floor, and Baby just can't believe what she's seeing. And at one point, it's kind of funny. It's a little funny part of the movie. Johnny actually brings Baby onto the dance floor, and she doesn't know what the heck she's doing. She has no moves at this point. And it's a little comical, her trying to dance on the dance floor. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because it was funny. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, Baby returns back to Kellerman's the next day. But at the same time, while she's at Kellerman's, she's trying to, befriend the working staff. Because I think she's very intrigued with that whole group, And after a little bit of time, she finds out that Penny got herself knocked up. And who knocked up Penny? Well, come to find out, it's one of the waiters that works at Kellerman's, this scumbag. I think his name was Bobby, right? And he's a scumbag. He just uses the women there, the young girls there. And the people that own the place, they think, oh, Bobby's so wonderful. He goes to Yale Medical School. He can do no wrong. But they don't realize this kid's a scumbag. Not only did he knock up Penny, he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, So Penny's upset because, she needs money. She wants to get an abortion, okay? And they don't have the money, of course, because these people that work there, they don't have any money, right? So Baby wants to help. That's what Baby does. She wants to help everybody. So she asks Daddy for some money. He doesn't want to give it to her at first, but she trusts Baby. And he gives her $250, which is, for 1963, it's a lot of cash, right? And she goes back, and Baby gives the money to Penny and Johnny and says, here's the $250.
Yeah, it takes a real saint to ask Daddy.
And they're a little reluctant to take it, but they take it because they need the money. And then Penny's like not sure how she's going to do it because I guess this doctor, whoever does these abortions, right, only comes into town once a week. And the particular night they're going to be in town, Penny and Johnny have like this mambo dance exhibition that they're doing at another hotel. And I guess it's really important. Anyways, Baby says, hey, I'll take your place, she tells Penny. I'll dance with Johnny, and you can go get your abortion. Now, it's funny because Baby doesn't know how to dance. Johnny doesn't really want to teach her. But to help out Penny, that's what they decide to do, all right? So Penny goes to get her abortion, and the next part of the movie is just Johnny trying to teach this Baby who has no idea how to dance. He's trying to teach her the mambo in like 1 week. So the whole next portion of the movie is basically Johnny trying to teach this girl Baby who has no idea what she's doing, how to dance the mambo, all right?
Head up. Lock your frame. Lock it. Lock. Look, spaghetti arms.
And at first, he's just like aggravated with her, right? He's just frustrated. She doesn't know what she's doing. But as they keep practicing, she's getting better and better. And there's like an attraction building up. And Johnny starts respecting the fact that, Baby's trying to help. He's helping them out. And actually, there's an attraction that builds up. And finally, the night comes where Penny's got to go for her abortion. And Johnny and Baby go to this other hotel and do their mumbo bit for a bunch of people, right? It goes okay. It's not perfect. But they pull it off, and they're happy, and then they head back to Kellerman's, all right? So they get there, and you can tell there's a little bond going on between Johnny and Baby. And right as they get back, poor Penny, she had gotten butchered. This guy who was like the doctor was just a hack. She's got a bad infection. She's in a lot of pain. They don't know what to do, so baby runs down and grabs her dad, says, "Can you please help me?" He comes up and he starts taking care of Penny, and he gives her some antibiotics and he helps her out, and he's asking who's responsible.
Who's responsible for this girl?
I am. Please, is she...
Johnny did this to her, and he thinks Johnny's a scumbag. He doesn't know it's the way to Bob. He thinks it's poor Johnny. Johnny doesn't want to say anything, so he just lets him think what he wants to think. And so the dad's mad. He's mad at Johnny. He's mad at Baby for lying to him about everything. And he helps out Penny, and he tells Baby, you stay away from these people. And I think it particularly meant, like Johnny, all right? Now, it's too late. There's already the attraction there. There's an attraction between Baby and Johnny, and there's nothing that the dad can do about it. So later that same evening, Baby shows up at Johnny's cabin, right? And one thing leads to another. And now Johnny's not just teaching Baby the mambo on the dance floor. Now he's teaching her the mambo underneath the sheets, along with the coochie coochie and the twist and shout, baby. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean, right? So they're getting it on, and their love affair blooms. They're in love, and they're just, up in the cabin going crazy all the time together, dancing under the sheets, right? Anyways, at a certain point, someone accuses Johnny of stealing wallets at the club, right? And so they want to fire him because they said he stole wallets one night. Now, Baby knows he didn't do it because Baby was with them all night, right? But no one's supposed to know that. So finally, to save Johnny, Baby admits in front of everybody, her dad, the guy who owns Kellerman's, that she knows Johnny didn't do it. And they say, "How do you know?" And she says,
"And the reason I know is because I was with him."
So, of course, the dad, he's upset. Kellerman's are upset. Now, this is the funny part, right? Picture this for a second, right? Picture this. Instead of the dad being some wealthy doctor, from New York, picture if the dad was Rocko Denaprovo, right? So this is how it would go. I'm sitting at the table. My daughter says that she was with Johnny all night. The next day, the way this movie would unfold, is the next day, everyone at the Kellerman's would be going, "Hey, have you seen Johnny? Anyone see Johnny?" And no one would have seen Johnny. Because what would have happened was they would have found, that scene where, they're working on the lifts, Johnny and Baby in the lake, and he's trying to pick her up in the water. Okay, remember that lake? What would end up happening, right, is they would have found Johnny face down, dead, floating in that lake, if that was my daughter. So anyways, he's not Rocko Denaprovo. He's a doctor. He handles things a little differently the way I would handle it, all right? But whatever. So he's mad at Baby for fooling around with Johnny. And poor Johnny, he gets canned anyway. So yeah, they realize that he didn't steal the wallets. But of course, the people at Kellerman's can him anyways because he was banging some 17-year-old at the club who's a member up at the club. So he gets fired anyways. It's too bad because the end of the summer was coming and Johnny always does the final dance. And so he's upset. Baby's upset. Everyone's, upset. So Johnny had taken off. Now they're at the final end of the summer dinner. And, Baby's sitting there with her parents. Her dingbat sister's up on the stage with these other schmucks doing some final show. It's awful, right? And lo and behold, who shows up? Johnny Castle. He shows up and walks up to the table where Baby is with her parents and issues the famous line,
"Nobody puts Baby in a corner."
Nobody puts Baby in the corner. And he grabs her and takes her up onto the stage. And he says, "Hey, I'm Johnny Castle. I do the final dance around here, and I'm going to do it this year." And the music burst on, and him and Baby are up on the stage doing all sorts of cool dance moves. Before you know it, the other dancers jump in. Everyone's dancing. The people in the dinner are dancing. Everyone's having a great time. It's a lot of fun. Everyone's a great end to the movie. Everyone's having fun. And then the dad actually goes up to Johnny because he had found out that it wasn't Johnny who banged up Penny. It was that idiot scumbag waiter. and he apologizes to Johnny.
When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong.
Right? He apologizes. Hey, Johnny, I'm sorry. I know it wasn't you. And he, he makes amends, and it ends happily ever after. It looks like Johnny and Baby, if possible, they're staying together, right? I don't know if it's going to work out. Personally, I don't think so. But hey, it's Hollywood. It looks like they're going to be a couple, right? All right, so there's Dirty Dancing. Where does it fall on Rocko Denaprovo's pizza scale? I got to give it 7 pieces of my mother's pizza out of 10. All right, it's a good movie. It's a little weird, a little quirky. Got some, gaps in the plot here and there. But I mean, it's got the Italian director, which is good for 4 slices right there, right? So it gets 7 slices of my mother's pizza, all right? So it's a good movie. Would I recommend seeing it? Definitely. Go see it if you haven't seen it. I mean, the movie's from 1987. You haven't seen it yet. I mean, are you kidding me, right? It's a good movie. See it. Like I said before, subscribe, like the video, do me that favor, right? Do me a solid. And don't worry, Rocko Denaprovo will be back with another movie review.